Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, cool. So today we're really tackling something pretty fundamental, planning.
Okay.
But we're going deeper than just, the to-do list kind of stuff. We're looking at how the quality of our planning really makes the difference. And to help us dig into this, we're using an article called Don't Just Dream It, Plan It.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, it's by Frederick Osei-Manu. And
I like him.
yeah, he makes a point that really struck me. He says, some planning gets more results than others, though we categorize all to be planning. Thorough planning should be your goal. So what do you think really makes a plan thorough? Like, what separates the plans that get us where we want to be from the ones that just kind of fizzle out?
Well, I think it's kind of like, think about the difference between like sketching an idea on a napkin and, having a fully fleshed out blueprint. Right.
Yeah.
So a thorough plan, it looks ahead to the challenges. It's not just about that like best case scenario.
Right.
It's also got those backup options for when things, and we know they will, go sideways. It's like baked in risk management.
Yeah, that's smart. Planning for the unexpected so you don't get thrown off when it will,
Exactly. And, there's that great definition of a plan from John Argenti.
Oh, yeah. He
says a plan's a list of actions arranged in whatever sequence is thought likely to achieve an objective. And without that, well, we're just hoping for the best instead of being strategic.
Yeah, it's like hoping versus actually, taking control.
Right.
And that made me think of all the times I've accomplished something big, There was always a plan involved, even if it wasn't like officially written down.
Yeah.
What about you? Can you think of a time where a plan, even a simple one, was like key to your success?
Oh, totally. There was this research project I did a while back. It was pretty massive, to be honest.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. But by like breaking it down into smaller pieces, stages with deadlines, it was way less scary. It became these like mini goals I could actually hit. And that kept me going.
So it was like each stage was like a win.
Totally.
And that kind of snowballed.
Exactly.
That's really cool. And it's like a good plan kind of changes your whole view, right?
It does.
Makes something that seems huge much more manageable.
Yeah.
Now, the author also talks about the downside of not planning, right? Like he warns that it often leads to, missed chances and that feeling of like, what if?
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely felt that. Have you ever had those, if only I'd planned better moments?
Oh, for sure. Especially early on, I thought things would just kind of, work out without much planning. Big mistake.
Yeah, I feel that.
Missed a few chances because of it. And then I realized, sure, being flexible is important, but you got to have that solid base to build from.
Right. It's like setting off on a road trip with no map.
Yeah.
Just a vague idea of where you want to go. You might eventually get there, but you're going to miss out on a lot along the way. And probably waste a ton of time and energy, too.
Exactly. And that's what this all comes down to, right?
Yeah.
A plan isn't just some, like, static document. It's got to be alive. It needs to change as you do.
So it's more like a compass, then.
Right.
Not a set of rigid instructions.
I like that. A compass. Yeah, you can adjust your course as you go, but you're still heading towards your goal. Yeah. That's crucial.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Flexibility.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like, you're not trying to squeeze yourself into some, pre-made box.
Right.
It's more like having a structure that lets you grow and change.
Yeah.
And the article, it doesn't like give a step-by-step guide to planning, right?
Right.
But it gives us some really good clues, like Argenti's definition, remember? A list of actions arranged in whatever sequence is thought likely to achieve an objective.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It's simple, but it really gets to the heart of it, don't you think?
It does. And notice how he focuses on actions in sequence. It's not enough to just like have your goals in mind or what.
Right.
You got to break them down.
Yeah.
Into like real steps, things you can actually do, and then got to figure out the best order to tackle them in.
That makes sense. And that phrase, thought likely.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just any order, right?
No.
You got to think it through.
Exactly. You might need to do some research, talk to people who've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Or just, think about your own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, like what resources you got, what skills maybe you need to work on. And that all affects how you order things in your plan.
Exactly. It's kind of like looking both inwards and outwards.
I like that. So what are some common traps people fall into when they're trying to figure out that order, that sequence?
I think a big one is trying to do everything at once.
Oh, yeah.
Overwhelm.
Yeah.
A good plan, it prioritizes. Some things got to come before others. It's like, building a house. Can't put the roof on till you've got those walls up.
Yeah. That's a good one. And speaking of houses, the author compares thorough planning to having a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Like it's essential for, long-term stability.
Absolutely. Something shaky might hold up for a bit, but eventually it's going to crumble, right?
Yeah.
A thorough plan, it anticipates those challenges. It's got those backup plans. So when you hit a roadblock, you're not totally thrown off course.
Yeah. It's like building in resilience.
Exactly.
So how do we make sure our plans have that solid foundation? Any practical tips our listeners can use?
Well, one thing that always helps me is to break those big, scary goals down into smaller chunks.
Okay. Yeah.
It's less daunting that way, right?
Definitely.
And as you finish each piece, you get that little sense of achievement.
Yeah, like a mini celebration.
Exactly. Keeps you motivated. Yeah. And you're less likely to get bogged down by, the sheer size of what you're aiming for.
That's a really good tip. Breaking it down makes it feel more doable. And the author, he seems to really believe in planning, doesn't he?
He does.
He even says it can lead to a more fulfilling life. What do you think about that?
I think there's a lot of truth to that. It's not just about checking things off a list, right?
Right.
It's about making sure your actions match your values. When you have a good plan, it gives you a sense of purpose. You're not just reacting to what life throws at you. You're shaping it.
That's powerful. It's like being in control. And the author's so enthusiastic about it. It's contagious. He's basically saying, just try it. You'll see.
He's like, I dare you.
Yeah. Yeah. Haha. And it's refreshing, to hear someone so passionate about something that, some people might think is kind of
boring.
Yeah, but it shows how transformative it can be. It's not just about those external goals. It's about a richer life overall.
Absolutely. It's not just about the end point. It's about enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And feeling like what you're doing actually matters.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose, it keeps you going.
Yeah.
Especially when things get tough. A good plan, it reminds you why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Helps you push through those challenges.
Yeah, it keeps you focused. So, it's like that compass keeping you on track even when you hit a bump in the road.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on planning, what's the main thing you hope people take away from all this?
I think it comes down to this. Planning, yeah, it's important, but it's the quality of that plan that really matters.
Right.
A good plan, it's not just a to-do list.
Yeah.
It's like a roadmap to a better life.
It's the how, not just the what. Right?
Yeah. It's a way to make those dreams, actually happen.
Okay, so final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah.
How can you use all this in your own life?
Yeah.
What dreams have you been putting off? What goals are you maybe a little scared to go after?
Don't let those dreams just sit there.
Yeah.
Think about what the article said, grab a notebook, and start planning.
Love it. What's one small step you can take today to get closer to that?
It's exactly.
Maybe it's starting that book you've always wanted to write, or launching that side hustle, or even just learning something new. Whatever it is, remember, a good plan can really help you reach your full potential.
It can.
And hey, don't forget to check out the article itself.
Yeah, good idea.
Don't just dream it, plan it. It's got a lot of great stuff we didn't even have time to cover.
And maybe even check on some of Frederick Osei-Manu's other work, too. He's got some good stuff out there.
Yeah, you never know what gems you might find. All right, everyone. Until next time, happy planning.